Welcome everybody to an all-new reaction and review. Yes, I know I haven't done a new one of these in a long time, but I've decided to get back into it. My apologies for that. But without further ado, let's get on. Tonight, guys, I'm going to be watching a horror movie from 2003. That movie is House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, I am a big Rob Zombie horror movie fan. I've seen Devil's Rejects. I know it's a sequel to this movie, but I've never seen this movie. I've seen both of his Halloween movies and Lords of Salem, but I have never seen his very first one. I've heard a lot of mixed things about it. I've heard some people say it's probably his best work besides Devil's Rejects. And other people say it's just plain disgusting and it doesn't make any sense. I'm not really sure. I personally love Devil's Rejects, so if this is a first movie before that, then I think I'm bound to love this movie just as much. But the only way I'm going to be able to find out if this movie's any good whatsoever is if I shut the fuck up and I press play. And I'll do that right now. So, without further ado, let's sit back, relax, and check out House of a Thousand Corpses. Alright, I'm no judge, but this has to be the worst armed robbery I have ever fucking seen. One, if you're gonna wear a fucking mask, wear one that matches the size of your fucking face. And two, why does his have fucking holes the size of a goddamn watermelon in it? Like, I can clearly see your face. Like, these have to be two of the dumbest He just took his mask off! Oh, and shit, that guy's got an axe. What the fuck? Those are the dumbest robbers I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And what the fuck is on that guy's face? Holy shit. That was kinda cool. Hey, fuck. Dumbasses. You know, I think I see in this movie what it is exactly that made Captain Spaulding so fucking intimidating in Devil's Rejects, cause he just got right up in that motherfucker's face, and that guy looked terrified, my man, and I loved it. Like, me personally, I fucking hate clowns, and Captain Spaulding has to be in the fucking top 5, right up there with Pennywise. He is fucking awesome, and I fucking love him. You know, I haven't said this about a horror movie in a long time, but I'm digging the overall atmosphere feeling of this entire movie. Like, just the house that they are in and the vibes that a lot of these characters are giving off. Like, I don't even understand how these characters aren't even feeling it right now. Like, there is definitely something seriously wrong going on here. Like, first of all, you randomly pick up a hitchhiker, and then 5 minutes later, your tire pops, and she just happens to have a brother with a tow truck. You don't see any connection with all this. Plus, you go to this bitch's house, and she's got fucking weird, demented-looking dolls hanging up all around the fucking front of her house. That's fucked up. And it's just like, I don't even know how to fully explain it, but overall, I just gotta say, I am fucking loving this, man. I really am. Well, clearly the message of this whole thing is, if you fucking lay one finger on baby, her family gonna fucking ruin your fucking night, man. God damn. Oh, now he's gone. Oh. God damn it, am I just this much of a sick motherfucker? I don't know, cause god damn, I'm loving every goddamn minute of this movie, man. I really am. Alright, so this creepy motherfucker Tiny went out of his way to fucking put makeup on this chick, tie her up to his bed, and dress her as a schoolgirl. Why the fuck do I find that so amusing? Maybe I'm just a sick motherfucker, I don't know, but this whole situation right now is fucked up and it's hilarious and I love it. And now he's just gonna let her go. Yeah, you have fun with that, you dumb bitch. And there's the big brother. I thought so. Okay. Rob Zombie, on behalf of everybody, you wrote and directed this shit, I gotta ask you. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm watching a man wearing a fucking girl's father's face as a mask and kissing her. What the fuck is wrong with this movie? Holy shit. This is fucking all kinds of fucked up. Jesus H. Christ. Still fucking loving it though. Okay, I have a question. This girl, this victim is trapped in like this fucking underground thing with all these creature looking things. I don't know what the fuck they are. It doesn't matter. One, where the fuck was this whole thing in Devil's Rejects? Did they just forget about that? And two, what the fuck are these things? And three, who the fuck made this thing? They put a lot of goddamn effort into making this. Do they only use this on Halloween? Like, I'm actually really confused, man. Like, who the fuck took their time and effort to make this shit? I mean, it looks really cool, but it's honestly very confusing. And holy fuck, what is that thing? Motherfucker's got goggles and an axe. Bye, bitch! Well, guys, that was House of a Thousand Corpses. Let me shut that off. Okay. That ending was fucking awesome. Wow. You know, the last two movies I reviewed, Hellraiser and Leprechaun Origins, were complete shit. And I was going to this hoping that it would be just as good as other Rob Zombie's films. But I still had those films stuck in my head, so I was thinking this film might suck. Boy howdy was I fucking wrong. This film was honestly probably fucking the best Rob Zombie film behind Devil's Rejects. No, scratch that. It and Devil's Rejects are tied. They are fucking both amazing equally. Now, where do I start with this? Well, I'm going to start with the writing like usual. The writing here, while very strong, does have its own kind of flaw abilities to it. Like, my biggest question for the writing in this film was, at the ending of the film, they seemingly are about to bury one of their victims alive, but then she gets out of the thing, there's like these big fucking, they almost look like mutants, but they start like tearing the box apart and they fucking let her out, and it almost takes her through this like maze of cobwebs and skeletons before she comes to like this big room filled with these creatures and shit in it. One of which has like these weird ass goggles and just looks completely demented. My question is, why the fuck they did not include that in Devil's Rejects? Because there was absolutely no mention of this thing in Devil's Rejects, and I'm actually pretty curious about it, because like, that would have been a really nice tie-up to have had in the sequel, but it just never gets mentioned. That's honestly me, might be nitpicking, but it honestly kind of bothers me a little bit because it was such a really climactic, interesting finale. That being said, it doesn't really impact the rest of the movie all that much, but it still would have been nice to, it also would have been nice to know who the fuck made that thing, because whoever made that put a lot of goddamn time and effort into creating that fucking whole thing. And I also want to know if they only pull that shit out during Halloween because they're obsessed with Halloween. But that's just one big thing. Another big thing about the writing is there's not much of a story here. That's a little bit of a negative because the only real story here is fucking people traveling to go somewhere, and they get fucked over by this fucked up family called the Firefly family. And that's about as much of story as you get. Like, the characters, while extremely interesting, I will admit that, and it's extremely fucked up, I will also admit that, the story is like just really vague, to be completely honest. But at the same time, the characters are able to make up for that, because every fucking member of the Firefly family are fucked up in their own unique way, and it really shows out. And I'll get more into that. You have the brother, I forget his fucking name, but he I don't even know how to describe him. He's like fucking Billy Bob Thornton on drugs. That's what I'm talking about. And he's fucking just completely psychotic. He had baby Firefly, and she is equally psychotic, but she's kind of like a lovable psychotic. I don't know why, but I fucking loved her character so much in this movie. Which is saying a lot, because in Devil's Rejects, my favorite character was Captain Sparling. Or Sparling, however the fuck you say his name. But in this one, it was fucking Baby, because she's just lovably psychotic. And then you had the grandma and the grandpa, or I guess the mom. Yeah, no, grandma and grandpa. Now, not really much to say about them. The grandma was pretty hot, I'll admit that, like, except for her teeth. Her teeth kind of made me uncomfortable, but they didn't have much. Tiny, that mutant, burnt-looking motherfucker. He gave me the heebie-jeebies, that's for goddamn sure. And his fucking character, I don't even know how to describe him. He doesn't even speak, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to speak. He's just fucking intentionally creepy, and it works really well. Then you have like other minor characters, the 4 victims. Not much is really said about them other than they're trying to write a book. That's about as far as their character development goes. But they're kind of unlikable, which is why you kind of... And they're kind of also stupid, and you kind of hope some bad shit happens to them, which it does, and it happens really nicely. But I want to know what Rob Zombie was thinking when he made this, when he wrote this, because, like, he must have just gone on a binge and you said, you know what, I bet I can write the most fucked up movie in history, and he went with it, and it was fucking awesome. So, while the story itself isn't all that there, the characters more make up for it, and Rob Zombie made a fucking really messed up movie, and I absolutely loved the writing to this. And a lot of the dialogue too felt really just grounded and raw and real and fucking disturbing, and it was really, really nice. Let's talk about acting. The acting in this movie is probably the strongest suit. Everybody in this movie fucking has their own moments to shine. The only people I can kind of give it down to is probably the fucking grandparents, because they don't really have much character, like I said, so their acting was kind of a little bit off. Sure, they were kind of really nice in a lot of scenes, but other scenes, their fucking presence just felt like ridiculously unnecessary. Granted, they probably had to have them there because they're a big fucked up family, but their presence a lot of the times did feel a bit unnecessary. But other than that, like, Captain Spaulding, he was only in the movie like 6 minutes worth of screen time, something like that, maybe a little bit more. But even him, when he pops up on the screen, he commands it. He fucking just steals the scene, and it's fucking amazing. And I gotta give major props to him for fucking his performance. Now, his performance in Devil's Rejects might have been better because he has more screen time and more shit to go with, and he's more fucking powerful. But he still shines in his role in this film. And the guy that played the brother in this movie, I still can't remember the guy's name, he did really fucking well because he went with his absolute best to be psychotic, and he fucking absolutely nailed it on the head. And I loved him in his fucking role, especially when he kills one of his victims' fathers, and he cuts his face off and he wears it as a mask, and he fucking just starts fucking with his victim with that. And it's so disgusting and so sinister, and it's just so fucking awesome. And I know that probably sounds bad, but I'm just a sick son of a bitch, probably, because I really fucking loved it. But the weird thing was, the most outstanding performance by far in this fucking movie, Sheri Moon Zombie. She fucking absolutely nailed her role. She was fucking lovable, she was sick, she was fucking sexy, and she was fucking psychotic. And I almost kind of wonder why her fucking character wasn't as lovable in Devil's Rejects. She was still good in Devil's Rejects, I'll have that in mind. No, I'm not saying she wasn't good, but her character development in Devil's Rejects wasn't like it is in this movie. There is no scene that she is in that she does not fucking steal. She, by far, had to be the best part of this fucking movie. And I have to give major props to her. Sheri Moon Zombie, I fucking loved you in this movie. You nailed your role. Good on you. Okay. Now, moving on to fucking special effects. The special effects in this movie are fucking first class. Rob Zombie went all out with what he had to work with. There's barely no CGI in this movie. You had fucking fetuses in jars. You had fucking blood and guts everywhere. People wearing faces. You got all this fucking setup in the backgrounds. You got fucked up looking dolls. You got skeletons. You got dead bodies. You got blood and guts everywhere. You have a fucked up looking house. And it's just all amazing. Particularly that fucking underground place. Like, he went all out with that, and I absolutely adored it. I thought it was fucking such a great looking set. Especially the skeletons and the cobwebs. It all just looked so creepy and fucking disgusting, and it was fucking awesome. And fucking that face, the fucking face that guy wore, that especially gave me the fucking shivers because it just felt so raw and real. I almost felt sick watching him kiss that fucking innocent girl with that shit because it was fucked up. And that's really good. The only real kind of downside I kind of have to give to the special effects in this movie is at the beginning. But that's another thing I mentioned. The beginning of this movie had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. I think it was just there so Captain Spaulding can have a moment to kill somebody. But the effects in like the opening, the blood looked kind of shit because it kind of didn't look that much like blood like some of the other sequences in this movie. But that's kind of just me looking for a little negative to give to the special effects. But other than that, special effects in this movie were fucking amazing. I must give one big negative to this movie though. There was this one scene where it was just this random black guy for like a full minute he was just in the middle of like a desert behind like this big shed with a bunch of signs about God and hell and Satan and all this. And he's just standing there for a whole fucking minute yelling about it. and then you never see him again for the rest of the movie. I don't really get why that was there. It had no purpose to be there. I mean, yeah, I did see a guy driving around with a truck at the very beginning of the movie that said God is dead, but nothing ever really happened for it, so I don't really understand why the fuck it was there to begin with. I mean, you probably don't really need to focus it on that much. It's not that big of a deal, but it just felt really odd and really weird that it was there to begin with. But, another thing, a lot of the camera work, Rob Zombie, the editing and the camera work, a lot of it at times can be extremely sloppy because it switches from one shot to another shot and the picture looks different, and I understand he was working with a budget and it was really low, but like it just didn't feel right in a lot of sequences, and it kind of pulled me out a few times during the movie. But plus the editing, there was a bunch of sequences where like one thing would be happening and then it just turned into like this big colorful hippie ass fucking fucked up thing where you're just seeing a bunch of the characters dancing around or showing bits and pieces of dead bodies, and then it cut to another scene. It's almost like something from that 70s show. But I didn't understand really the technique or the purpose behind all that, but then again, that might be just Rob Zombie's style card as a director. I can't really shit on Rob Zombie because this was his first fucking film as a writer and director, and he honestly, other than all of that I mentioned, really fucking did well with what he had to work with. So, basically, Rob Zombie did really well with what he could do, and overall, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend the House of a Thousand Corpses? Fuck yes. Not only that, watch this and go watch Devil's Rejects. This movie is fucking a masterpiece in horror, and it is disgusting, it is gory, it's bloody, it's fucked up, it's everything you could possibly want in a Rob Zombie film. Rob Zombie, thank you. I've wanted to watch this film for so long. I finally got my chance, and you did not let me down, man. You are a fucking master director of horror, and I thank you for this fucking beautiful film. Well, with that, that's all I have to say. We come to a close to reaction and review. I thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed giving it to you. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to see me watch any movie that I haven't seen, comment it down in the comments. With that, we come to a close. Now I will see you again soon. Peace out, guys.